Hey, Al, I want to thank you for the apples and the carrots. They were great. I loved them. So did Beshaw. He's kind of down in the dumps, but this really lifted his spirit. We're sorry that you didn't find us right away. We were down there by the water, just kind of hanging out in the shade and getting a drink. And we didn't know you were going to come by today. We did hear that helicopter thing, and but we didn't come over to we didn't see you at the gate because we were behind the trees. So we're sorry about that, and we want to thank you again, and we'll try to, next time, we'll be out where we can find you and see you. And that helicopter, yeah, it's okay. I was a little scared of it at first, but it's okay now. So just enjoy yourself and be good, and just keep them apples and those carrots coming, okay? Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.
Well, usually when I drive up, the boys are sitting there waiting for me. But hadn't been there in a while, so they had moved on to another pasture, or Marianne either picked them up and took them to the house. I know she's concerned about Beshaw's high, but I couldn't find them. I called them, so I decided I'd send the helicopter up to look for them. If they were there, we'd find them. But it's searched the main pasture with the racetrack, and no sign of them. So I just give them these apples and carrots that so maybe they're at the barn. So I sent the helicopter over there and I looked for them. It's great that you can send the helicopter out and you can see what actually the helicopter's looking at. Especially I got these new glasses that you can view supposedly easier than the screen. I'm a little disappointed because the quality isn't quite as good. But anyway, no luck. So, being that we can only be gone 5 or 6, 7 minutes, whatever, because of the batteries in the helicopter, I try to keep a pretty close eye because I don't like walking after it. It'll land itself. I don't know where it is, but it will land wherever the batteries start to go dead. So, we pushed it about to the limit, so we decided, well, bring it back and change the battery, check the battery anyway, and then we'll check another pasture. But it's, it's spring and everything's turning green and it's just so beautiful. And the B-Sox has some beautiful horses. Beshaw and Wildfire have a great place to live, and it's just pleasant just being there and even just flying over with the helicopter. So we're going to bring it in and check the battery and go look for them some more. Well, the battery light was still flashing green, so we knew we had a couple of minutes left on it. So we decided to just send it back out and check the main pasture a little bit more, maybe along the tree line and so forth, and back under the big oak tree. But it's so much fun to fly the helicopter that it doesn't matter where we go. It's awesome. And, there I am standing in the middle of the road, and we're just flying around. And got these glasses on, and it's great that I can trust these glasses because you don't have to watch the helicopter anymore. Just act like Stevie Wonder and look into the glasses. The glasses will see exactly what you're seeing right now. So we decided to spend whatever battery power we had left here, and not even go in and look for the horses yet, because we didn't know just exactly how much battery we had left. Okay, so after a quick battery change, ready for sortie number 2. Now this sortie will be taking us down to the lower pasture, down by where the water is, and that's where the boys hang out when it's real hot, because they get down into there and get into the trees and get some shade, get some water, and that's got some inherent problems, and that's where we have to be very careful flying down there. So we take the altitude up a little bit higher so that we can cover more area. One thing we don't want to do is get tangled up with tops of trees. So as you can see down here, this is the lower pasture. And you see the trees there in the lower center. That's where the boys hang out. And usually Wildfire will, if he hears something, he'll check it out. But we still just couldn't find them. We didn't know where they were at. So we checked those 2 pastures. Now we're a long distance away from where we took off from. So again, we'll fly around for a few minutes and keep an eye on the timer, and go back and check the battery again. But it's so beautiful when you're up, 600 or 700 feet and just looking at the curvature of the earth and God's great creation, and it's turning green, and there's different colors everywhere. The farmers have the fields to get ready to plow, and it's just awesome. We have an awesome God. So we're a few minutes out and decide to go back and check the battery. Now we're at 700 or 800 feet now, so one thing we don't want to do is have the battery go. It won't actually go dead. It will move to a lower capacity, and as it does that, it will begin to descend, and sometimes that descension can be a little bit harder than we want. So we slowly bring it down, and we do it in a way where we're moving forward a little bit, because if you're bringing it straight down, the wind builds up underneath and it becomes very unstable. But it's okay. I mean, it'll still land that way. But still, no Beshaw and Wildfire. And I got these carrots and I got these apples, and getting a little bit anxious because I came here to see the boys. I miss them. So once again, we land and check the battery power. Pushing the limit, but the battery wasn't dead yet, but we could tell that it was wouldn't be long. So we just flew it down to the end of the field. This is not the Besaw's property. This is one of their family members' property, and we flew it down there and figured, well, I guess it's time to come back. And that's when the battery started to, you could see that the helicopter was beginning to lose altitude. And that's what will happen when the battery power begins to drop. And then you try to get it back, but sometimes it just doesn't have the power to keep the altitude. So what do? You just let it land, turn the power down, let it go back, turn it off, let it sit for a minute or two, and that way it will build up enough energy to get up and just maybe enough power to get enough altitude to come back if you're not far away. If you're far away, you can forget about it. It won't make it all the way back. So we had enough juice to get it back to the car. Didn't have to walk. But we still did not find Wildfire and Beshaw. Where could those boys be? Well, there was only one place we hadn't checked, and of course that was the barn. And the pastures over there by the cotton field. So sortie number 3 was designed just for that purpose. A little bit lower altitude, and we began to see things in the so we hovered over the barn, trying to get any type of attention that we could, and lo and behold, there they were. We got a quick glimpse of them standing out there in the field, and wondering why they hadn't been there the whole time. On close examination of the footage from all these flights, they hadn't been there the whole time. Maybe they were in the barn taking a nap or something, and the helicopters woke them up and they're come out here to eat. I don't know, but anyway, you can see them. They're down there, and we flew over them trying to get their attention. And I kind of hovered over the top of them. I don't like to get too close to them. I try to back up a little bit so that I don't come up down on top of them. And Wildfire looks up at the helicopter and he sees it, but goes about eating. So I said, "What's up with this?" Because usually when they hear the car door, they come running. But they've never been over where they're at in this video. Whenever I pulled up, you can see that it's a long way to where the car's parked in the gate. So I spun around a few times to see if I could get their attention, and if maybe they were following us. I could have come down probably closer, but the one thing I don't want to do, these guys are not used to this helicopter, and I do not want them to get scared. They had a dog attack one time where a bunch of hunting dogs came in after one of the horses, and that horse took off running, ran into a strand of barbed wire, and it nearly took its whole head off. So we have to be careful. These are our friends. We don't want to hurt them, you know, and we know where they're at. We know where the apples are. We have transportation to get there. So we'll fly one more sortie maybe, and then head over and feed the boys their apples. And while I'm messing with the helicopter, Beshaw sees me. It's not during the video, during this flight, but they'll actually hear me down there, and they will walk over and look at me. I don't think I have that on any video anywhere. And Wildfire walks down and sees me, but he can't get to me because there's a fence there, and the only opening from that pasture is up at the top of the hill, at the top of the gate. And he was watching me, and I just decided that I would just ride up there. But before we do, I got one more battery that I'd like to fly and just have some fun, So we took off, and we knew where they were at, so we flew over there one more time to see if we could get them to come to the fence. Now I seen them up there, and they seemed to be getting a little closer, but they were not coming. I kept trying to get their attention by spinning the helicopter around to see something moving in the air that would get their attention maybe, but it didn't. So this was a battery that we knew it wasn't going to last long, so we decided we'd do some foolish stuff with it, and we began some buzzing, and this is about as fast as the quadcopter can go. And the thing, as an aircraft gained speed, notice who said that a quadcopter couldn't do a flip? That's exactly right. It did a flip. It hit a leaf, a branch, and actually did a 360. And that's simply because it was just too fast. And when you make a fast turn in water or in air, then of course centrifugal force still keeps you going in that original direction. And I lucked out, because it could have been a catastrophe. It could have been the end of the quadcopter. But I didn't learn my lesson. We still go speeding around and making quick turns and things. But when it hit that tree, it was back. I couldn't see where it hit, and well, fool in his toys. But it's a lot of fun. It definitely is. You know, it's something you can do that you're not inside it. It does crash. So. The boys sure made short work of those bag apples and carrots. So now that they've had their apples and carrots, it's time to give them a little bit of lesson on the helicopter. It was plain that Beshaw wasn't the least bit interested. He wasn't afraid of it. He could care less if it was there or it wasn't there. But Wildfire, he would stand by the fence and watch it, constantly watching it. Like, hey, I want to do it. You know, can I do it? And we flew around out there in the field. What a great feeling to have this wide open space and a good fully charged battery, and just push the throttle forward and let her fly. It's just an awesome feeling to watch this helicopter just flying and buzzing by. And you see there that Beshaw wasn't interested, but that was Wildfire that was standing by the fence. He was eyeing me because I was controlling it. See, he's still there by the fence, and he's kind of watching me. I'm standing behind. I didn't have the glasses on because the battery went dead in the transmitter, so he didn't want to waste one of the good batteries, so we just flew it by sight. We figured that since we had Wildfire here, we'd try to get him to relax a little bit around it and enjoy it. And that way we can fly it around. He really can do some crazy things. When he's happy and wants to play and jump around, he'll go crazy, running and jumping, and he'll jump off of all 4 feet and just leap in the air, and he is just awesome to watch. I wish I was about 20 or 30 years younger where I could enjoy riding, but my riding days are long gone. The only time I ever rode a horse was back in high school, and I loved it, and I was a natural at it. So now I'm afraid that I just couldn't do it anymore. But you can see here just how confident I am in my control. A few months ago I would have probably rammed into the back of the car. But hey, you know, it's just awesome that you have control over this machine, and the horse just enjoys it. So I figured, let's bring it down and let him get a close look at it. I didn't want to scare him. Every time you would try to get close, he would kind of back off. So I slowly brought the helicopter down, and I started slowly bringing it a little bit closer. You know, you gotta understand that these 2 guys are full of apples and carrots, so I didn't want to get them excited and them toss their lunch. So we just flew around and tried to do some of the micro controls of getting it in certain places, and so it was probably a 15-mile-an-hour wind, and to This little quadcopter is good up to about 20 miles an hour winds, so we were good. I enjoyed it. We're trying to get the batteries. You know, you hate to waste any type of battery power that you have, because once the batteries are discharged, it takes 3 to 4 hours to charge them back up, and that's got to be done at home. So we kind of fly them until they won't fly anymore, and that way when we charge them, they're fully charged. But sometimes that's not a good thing, because when the batteries start to go low, you don't have the good control over the helicopter like you would if you had a good battery. So we're trying to videotape the guys, and now Beshaw is kind of interested, but he's not going to come near the fence. But I was really interested in trying to get Wildfire to see what his reactions would be and how close I could come with him. As you got a little close, he started to get a little antsy. So we kind of just landed it and would work on that from a different angle. Well, this was our last battery, so we decided we'd try to get as much as we could. You know, one thing about these fields, there's so much that you can learn, and I had wished that I had my glasses, and the next time we go out there, that's what we're going to use the glasses for. These fields lay dormant after they pick the crops, and they're turned over and cared for, but there still is some of the crops still left in the field, roots that are in the field, animals and things, insects that lay into and try to eat the roots and things. So there's a lot of activity that takes place in these fields. If you look to the left of the screen there that we're just going by, that's rooting. That's where pigs come out and they try to dig up to try to get whatever they can out of the ground right there. That's what I believe. Now it's possible. Now coyotes don't make dens. The only time that they'll make a den is when mom is pregnant, and then they might make a den, but it's not usually underground like wolves and foxes and things. So if I had the glasses and seen those spots, I would have come in, going down low, and see just exactly what that terrain was consisted of, whether it was holes in the ground or just places that were dug up by the pigs. So we'll go up, and I think we got one more chance to get out there and check that field. And there are all kinds of holes and things that we see in the field that I don't really remember ever being there. Now, what kind of animals could have burrowed into the ground and had holes? There's rats, there's armadillos, especially armadillos. They like to burrow, and you can tell by the shape of the hole if it's an armadillo burrow. Now, gopher tortoises usually don't pick an open field. They usually go along a pine tree line, and they go into red clay or soft sand. Now this is kind of soft sand. It's a great soil for peanuts and cotton, and that's usually what's great about soil content there in Alabama, is that you can alternate crops between peanuts and cotton, which is a good thing for a farmer to do. So we flew over the top, and you can see that it's dug, and as I see it real quick as it went by, it looks like it's hogs that are doing that thing, and I don't think there's any homes being made there. But there's a lot of different things that rabbits and all kinds of critters that come into that field, and coyotes will lay in wait in the brush, bobcats and so forth, and they'll start hunting their prey prey like rabbits and raccoons and all kinds of small birds and things. So these are just some of the things that you get to see with the quadcopter that you'd have to ride down each and every inch of the field in order to see. And probably the next time out, we had used all the good batteries and the glasses and things where the batteries were dead on the transmitter and things. So next time out, we'll know what we want to look for. I like to hit the tree lines, look for any animal life and so forth. That'd be neat if we had night vision on it, but we don't. So now let's check out the neat pictures of the boys that we got before we close. And we'll thank you for joining us here at Great Outdoors. This is Alvine saying we'll see you the next time.
The walkways and the fence become a little close. But he's sitting there and he just watches it. He watches it. He's such a smart guy. They enjoyed their apples and their carrots. Now they're just chilling out in the field. Marianne is right. Beshaw's eye is not getting any better. So we'll pray on that again tonight and see if we can get the Lord to do something about it. Okay, we're going to launch the helicopter again. Wildfire, get ready.